Are you kidding me? No place I'd rather be than out in Fleming Island at Mr. Chubby's Wings. And I got to tell you something. On this side of the river, I am feeling a tremendous amount of energy right now. A lot of passion, a lot of excitement. March Madness, 6 in the books, 2 winding down, 8 to tip a little bit later on. Arguably one of the greatest days of the year in sports. First round on a Thursday, second round tomorrow. That'll include your Florida Gators, a 1.5-point favorite over Colorado. The total at 158.5. That'll tip sometime around 4:30 for you on Friday. And then, of course, we get from 16 games to 8 games apiece, both Saturday and Sunday. Just a pleasure. Mr. Chubby's Wings, Fleming Island. Always a great time out here. Always love the Fleming Island folks. And for those of you who registered online at 1010XL.com, you know the drill. If you picked a winner, just bring in your printed bracket, show a waitress, show a bartender, and you get yourself a free Miller Lite draft. The owner, Will, heard me yesterday saying I was going to get dropped off via the Uber, and I was going to Uber back home. That's not the case. I did make my way out here in the beautiful Key GMC Sierra truck, but I can always Uber home, right? Brent Hopkins is here. It's his birthday. You know, we're just celebrating everything over the next couple of hours. And I'll be here till 8, and then probably a lot longer. Hacker Nation at 8 o'clock tonight. He'll take you up until 10. So we do have plenty planned, including in 25 minutes. We're going to check in with the Philly Rooster, who always says that college basketball is his expertise. We have him on every single week during the football season. I know a lot of you people out there really love to hear from the Philly Rooster, but we're going to bring him on and talk some hoops, and that's coming up again in about 25 minutes. You know, we all daydream, right? Daydreaming's fun. For those who say sleep when you're dead or whatever, screw that. Sleep now. If you can slide in a nap, get one. But dreaming is one of my favorite things to do, and I have what they call lucid dreams where I can take them with me. I actually do understand that I am dreaming and I can do certain things. It's not because I've abused drugs in my life. It's not because I've had too much alcohol in my life. I don't know what it is, but it's a great tool. It's also a very powerful tool. There are times I'll take a dream with me into the morning. That'd be a lie. I mean, I get up around 11:30. So into the afternoon, right? I can actually take a dream with me, and you got to maybe give yourself like that John Henderson slap and be like, hey, wake up. It's reality. You're not dreaming, okay? That was what you did when you were asleep. Now you're awake. This is your life. But we dream about being rock stars. We dream about being an actor. Maybe you dream about being a huge political figure. This is our year. We're going to work real hard. We're going to tax the rich. We're going to feed the poor. All of that great stuff. But we always dream about being an athlete, right? Game on the line. Baseline 3. Nothing but net. I mean, how cool is that, right? Where would you rank that? NCAA tournament, down 2, baseline, swish. Key Smart, Indiana, against Syracuse, the baseline J for the second national championship for the now long gone General Bob Knight. Where would you rank it? To me, it's been one of two things. You give me a middle-end fastball at Fenway, and I'm able to turn on it, get the entire body weight. Back when I played, we slid. We didn't take the jump up or the lift. As a right-handed hitter, the lifting up of the left foot. I mean, everything's changed in just about everything in life. But, I don't know if anything would be bigger than leaving the yard at Fenway Park, okay? However, hockey remains my favorite sport. I got to think that maybe a one-timer from the slot, or maybe walking in alone and picking a goaltender, whether it's 5-hole or going up over one of his shoulders. I don't know. The older I get, what we experienced last week, I mean, how incredibly cool would it be to birdie 16, make the walk to 17, where you're around a stroke. Maybe you have a one-stroke lead. I don't know. Maybe you're tied. Maybe you're all even. And you have that typical Sunday pin placement to the right of the par 3 17th hole, and you just leave it within 5 or 6 feet from rolling in a birdie. I don't think a lot of 18 to 25, but I think when you get older, maybe that one would actually settle in. I don't know. You tell me. What would it be if you could have one opportunity, one sport? I didn't even mention what you all love the most in football. What is the most exciting? I mean, obviously what I explained as far as a walk-in goal or, hitting one over the green monster or leaving one just there for a birdie putt at 17. That is the pinnacle. That is the best that you can get. What is the best in football? I mean, is it a pick six with the game on the line? Is it throwing a touchdown pass? Is it being a wide receiver, catching a touchdown pass? Is it handing the ball off to a running back and taking it in scoring? It's very subjective in football with the other 3 sports that I mentioned. Actually, I guess, the other 4 sports that I did mention, I think it was pretty obvious as to what I said. If you want to have some fun with that tonight, I'd love to hear from you. We're always very interactive with the good folks on the text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010. All right, Philly Rooster coming up in just a little bit. We're going to get things started with him. We're going to talk some Florida State football later in the program. We're going to do that with our good friend Niall Lawrence Stample. Today was Florida's Pro Day. You just heard Gibby at the top of the hour. I was surprised to read that tweet. Apparently Trent Baalke was going to make his way to Hogtown today. But once it was announced that Ricky Pearsall was not going to work out, Trent Baalke did opt out of the meet and greet and, the opportunity to watch him work. This isn't a typical Florida Pro Day. There isn't a heck of a lot of NFL prospects, unlike what we saw 1 year ago, where there was certainly there was quite a few for the University of Florida. So, if Jacksonville is interested in Ricky Pearsall, and I can't see how they would be. I mean, he's a slot wide receiver, right? You got Christian Kirk, you got Parker Washington, you've got who am I thinking of? Devin Duvernay is a guy that, in a pinch can absolutely line up in the slot if needed a little bit, the way that Jamal Agnew was used a year ago. So I would assume, because I think Pearsall goes on Friday, right? He's probably going to be a second, maybe a third-round pick. He tested well. He had a very nice career. I just don't think with what he gives you, he fits into Jacksonville's plans. Jacksonville needs a bigger wide receiver. Jacksonville needs a guy who's hopefully 6'3", 6'4", if they're able to get a guy in that particular fashion. But we will see. You want to comment on that? 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Florida State's Pro Day is tomorrow. That's one of the reasons why Niall Lawrence Stample is going to join us in 1 hour. But with the Caleb Pro Day yesterday, Caleb Williams, there's so much being said right now and tossed around as far as, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? I've seen in some circles that, generational talent, much like what we saw with Trevor Lawrence a couple of years ago. And, we still don't know officially what the draft order is going to be like as far as quarterbacks. Is it Caleb Williams, then Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Mel Kiper calling J.J. McCarthy the wild card in this year's draft class? I mean, Michael Penix. The list goes on and on and on. And you as Jaguar fans, the more quarterbacks that go before 17, the better off you are, because it allows you to get the highest-ranked position player who is still on the board. Hopefully 4 quarterbacks go. It'd be great to have 5 quarterbacks go. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I mean, you could have 3 in a row go. First time since 2021, right? Remember when all of that actually did happen And look at that class now. I mean, Zach Wilson, not going to stay in New York. Trey Lance in Dallas. Justin Fields traded last week to Pittsburgh. Mac Jones traded a couple of weeks ago. I guess it was early last week, right here to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So just remember the way it was 3 years ago. And remember all of the attention on what is happening as far as quarterbacks. And you can honestly make the case that for Trevor, everyone wants to see it work. But right now, how would you describe his first 3 years in the NFL? Underwhelming, right? I'm not going to say it's over and he's never going to be able to be the guy. There's been massive challenges. There's been a coaching change. There's been a lot of injuries. There's been problems along that offensive line. But still, it hasn't gone the way that I think any of us expected it to go. Look at the other four. Wilson, Lance, Fields, and Jones. All have been failures to this point. So history would tell us if you move ahead and you look at these 5 quarterbacks, how many of them are actually going to be able to become what you would say franchise QBs? We don't know the answer to that question, but typically it's one, maybe a second. Only time will tell. Something else to consider as we take you through pro days now, and we move one day closer. We're now, I think, 34 days actually until the NFL draft. It'll be on a Thursday. Yeah, I guess it's 5 weeks from tonight when that actually happens. So that technically would be 35 days. All right, one other nugget before we get to the NCAA tournament. I saw this today and it blew me away. All right, I don't want to put any credence to this because it's not accurate. Although it's under the category of rumor. I don't even want to say that or speculation because I don't want to put him under a category where it would be truly unfair. But I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on X. And it did have some legs earlier today. The Ohtani story with his translator, taking $4.5 million off of him via wire transfers and what have you, is a pretty big story, but it's one that is probably going to end up going away. Someone made the point that they wanted to see Ohtani actually linked to baseball gambling only because they wanted to see what Commissioner Rob Manfred would do. We're all aware of the Pete Rose story. Pete Rose story really took off when he was still a manager. It was after his playing days. But we understand the way that gambling is in that sport. Gambling doesn't really register in the NFL. Even though Calvin Ridley sat out a year, I mean, it was like a story, but the world didn't stop. Right? It was like he got caught, and then there's been some others who've been caught. We've had suspensions for years. We've had suspensions for certain games. But, for one reason or another, it didn't get the attention of like a Lance Armstrong with steroids, or Barry Bonds with steroids, or, Pete Rose being banned. I still think the biggest story we could ever have, historically speaking in sports, would have been if there was Tiger Woods and steroids. I don't think anything ever would have been bigger. And there's no proof, okay? Even guys who dislike him. I read Hank Haney's hatchet job in the book that he came out with a few years ago. I mean, I think we look at Butch Harmon is really the swing coach that you think of most when you talk about Tiger Woods. But Hank Haney had his year spent with Tiger as a swing coach. It was really an awful book. I don't even know why I read it. He spent the entire time just ripping Tiger Woods and probably made himself a little bit of change by selling books. But I was thinking about that earlier today. I mean, Pete Rose, they refused to let him back into the game. You just gave Ohtani $750 million. What if Major League Baseball, and it's a huge what if, and again, I'm not implicating I'm just having a conversation with you and wondering, it's not my idea. I saw it on, again, on Twitter. What would Rob Manfred do in a situation like this if their biggest star, all of a sudden, if there was a paper trail and they could find that he was involved in something along these lines, it's mind-boggling completely. Now, for what we understand, Ohtani's a perfect human being, right? Just got married. You really don't hear any nonsense at all with him. But nonetheless, I did think it was pretty interesting when I got an opportunity to bump into that a little bit earlier this afternoon. All right, let's get you updated. For those of you who are not familiar as to what has taken place, let's get you caught up. Michigan State 69-51 earlier out in the West Regional. They knocked off Mississippi State. The big upset of the day, Duquesne 71, BYU 67. For Duquesne, it is their first NCAA victory in 55 years. And, you know, BYU came in as an incredible three-point shooting team. They still shot 33% today, only 8 of 24. Frankly, they didn't take enough shots. They struggled even worse from the field. They should have attempted more shots. And, you know, I didn't watch this game in completion, so, you know, I may have missed, or obviously I did miss some of the keys going in and going out. But, again, they were ranked second in the country in three-point shots made. Today, they only are able to hit 8 of them. And ends up costing them, Duquesne, a winner by the final of 71-67. That was in the East Regional. Moments ago, Illinois knocked off Morehead State, 85-69. That was in the East Regional as well. Creighton, who I took all the way to the Final Four, knocked off Akron by the final of 77-60. That was in the Midwest region. Arizona, a 2 seed over a 15 seed in Long Beach State. All the controversy that's been going on there with LBS and the firing of their coach. And they won 3 straight before after losing 5 in a row. I think they end up with a record of like 21-15. But Dan Munson now no longer the coach. We are aware of that at Long Beach State. Arizona a winner, 85-65. Also out in the West region, number 1 seed North Carolina, a winner over Wagner. The final there is 90-62. All right, ongoing right now. South Carolina went on a little bit of a run, but Oregon has stretched it once again. With 1 minute remaining in the second half, an 11-seed Oregon over a 6-seed South Carolina. That is 83-68. The Ducks up right now over the Gamecocks. Again, a minute to go there in the second half. Also a low-scoring game that is happening in the West Regional. Right now, a 10-seed Nevada up 51-36 over Dayton. Dayton a 10-seed with 9:44 remaining in the second half there. Next up, it is 30 minutes away. We will have number 7 Texas against number 10 Colorado State. They're going to tip off at 6:50. Texas is a 7-seed, Colorado State a 10-seed. The Longhorns are favored by 3.5 points in that one. At 7:10 tonight, it is a 3-seed in Kentucky against a 14-seed Oakland. That is in the South Regional. Kentucky a large favorite here, 13.5 points. Gonzaga is a 5-seed against McNeese, who is a 12-seed. Gonzaga favored by only 6.5 points here. Interesting. That'll be at 7:25. At 7:35, Iowa State, who I actually chose to win the national championship. They'll be taking on South Dakota State, a 15-seed. That is in the East Regional. Iowa State favored by 15.5 points. Couple of other games, late-nighters beginning at 9:20. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 15, St. Peter's. That is out in the Midwest. Tennessee favored by 22 and a hook. Maybe the best game on tap tonight is North Carolina State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech, a 6-seed. North Carolina State, an 11-seed. North Carolina State they're in because they won the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament. So they're on a tear here. Texas Tech favored by 4.5. Again, that'll be at 9:40 tonight. And the two other games, Kansas at 9:55. Kansas a 4 seed against Samford, a 13 seed. That is in the Midwest. Kansas favored by 7.5. And then the last game at 10:05 Eastern, Washington State a 7 seed against Drake, a 10 seed at 28-6. Drake favored by 1.5 there. Obviously, Kansas, kind of like Florida and North Carolina, it just seems like, team after team after team are losing or have lost key players to their basketball team. The leading scorer for Kansas, Kevin McCullough Jr., is out, and they have struggled ever since he has been out. At one point I really had Kansas going deep into the NCAA tournament, but when you take away their best scorer and arguably their best player, that is going to have an effect on them. I don't think there's any question about it. All right, when we do return, let's get straight to it. Let's get to the Philly Rooster. Let's begin to talk about these games. I'm obviously going to ask the Philly Rooster about Florida and their matchup tomorrow against Colorado. At the last look, I had Florida as a 1.5-point favorite, and the total at 158.5 points. So we'll do that with the Philly Rooster, along with a couple of other games that we are interested in, he is interested in. That is coming up here momentarily. I do want to tell you that opening comments tonight are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Known Dr. Neil Shmunez forever. And you're talking about more than 37 years worth of experience when it comes to your eyes. They're a family organization out at the beach. They focus on personal, high-quality medical and surgical eye care. So it's so much more than just your typical eye examination, all right? And that's always important, whether it's your for contacts or glasses. But as we get older, we get real serious issues with our eyes. And if this appears to me that we neglect our eyes, unlike other parts of our body, which is surprising. And it's also disappointing. The word cataract may scare the snot out of you, and I understand it. It's not a comfortable word. It's one that, may kick you back a little bit. Hey, they may have a remedy for you where it's very treatable, okay? If not, and surgery is needed, well, that is their expertise. I had surgery in my right eye going back 8.5 years ago. I want you to check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. That is Shmunez Vision. Care you can see. Always a lot of fun to talk about the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. It's also a pleasure to be here. My goodness, Mr. Chubby's Wings out at the Fleming Island location. Come on by. Bring your printed bracket, the one that you registered with at 1010XL.com. Okay, bring it in to the Fleming Island location. And when you do, if one of your teams is advanced, you get yourself a free Miller Lite draft. How about that? Pretty cool, right? No doubt. When we come back, we'll talk to J.J. LaSelva. When we come back, we will talk to the Philly Rooster. Let's take a look at some of these big games that are coming up. Gator fans, that's going to include Florida and Colorado. They'll play tomorrow at 4:30. What does the Philly Rooster think about this? Which way is he betting? All of that is coming up on the other side on Into the Night.
This is Daniel Murphy on my hometown station here in Jacksonville, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Did you hear what's happening? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are spring cleaning. New inventory on the ground means we need to make more room. Take advantage of huge savings on thousands of vehicles priced to sell. New and pre-owned prices have been reduced, and all sales associates have been instructed to give maximum value on all trades. But you better hurry. The best deals go first. Head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville to take advantage of our spring cleaning sale. We're here to wow you.
Exciting news from All Pro Roofing. Effective right now, you can get an instant roof quote. Just click the Instant Roof Quote tab on their website. Whether you're in need of roofing, exterior siding, or windows, All Pro Roofing is your local partner for quality craftsmanship. Click the Instant Roof tab and voila! get an instant quote. It's that simple. Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Hey there, poker players and entertainment enthusiasts. The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. The Run Good Poker Series is blazing its way through Best Bet Jacksonville now through March 24th. Get in on the action with 10 poker events, highlighted by the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event, boasting a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. And that's not all. Dive into the action of event number 1, $400 no-limit hold'em, with an impressive $100,000 guarantee up for grabs. Ready to secure your seat at the tables? Win your entry through satellites taking place now. For tournament instructions and all the details, head to bestbetjacks.com. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville for the Run Good Poker Series.
The Jacksonville Icemen continue their homestand Friday and Saturday as they battle the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in a key South Division matchup at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Game time 7 o'clock. Catch the exciting family fun action as the Icemen continue their push toward the Kelly Cup playoffs. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #FireWithin.
Outstanding Scholar athletes take pride in hitting the field and the books. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
Have Zero Res air duct specialists out, and right now we'll give you $50 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Who has scored the most touchdowns in NFL history?
Is your home your most valuable asset? It is for most of us, and Southern Oak Insurance recommends an annual review. Log on to southernoak.com for more information.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
San Francisco wide receiver Jerry Rice has scored 208 touchdowns in his NFL career, 33 more than Emmitt Smith.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life.
SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Now, another March update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
I'm RJ Saunders, and the madness is continuing within the NCAA tournament. North Carolina moves on in the West region following their 90-62 victory over Wagner. Armando Bacot had a monster performance for the Tar Heels as he finished with 20 points to go along with 15 rebounds. Number 2 seeded Arizona also moves on in the West region as they defeated Long Beach State by 20. 85-65 would be the final score in that contest. Kylan Boswell recorded 20 points to go along with 8 assists for the Wildcats. And Oregon celebrating a 87-73 victory, that's in the Midwest region, over the number 6 seeded South Carolina Gamecocks. Jermaine Couisnard finished with 40 points to go along with 4 rebounds and 6 assists.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, we are broadcasting live from Mr. Chubby's Wings at the Fleming Island location. So come on out. Again, if you registered online, if you went to 1010XL.com, bring in your printed bracket. And if one of your teams is advanced, guess what? It's good for a free Miller Lite draft. So come on by. Great crowd already on hand. Still room for you. If you've never been here, it's a family atmosphere. Incredible bar. Very long. Almost reminds me of like a Chicago-style bar. How long it is. Tabletops, some high tops. Booths, families are here. I think spring break is going on, and a lot of good folks. So come on by, say hello. I'll be with you till 8. Hacker Nation tonight. We'll take you here live until 10 o'clock. Let's bring in our good buddy, the Philly Rooster. You hear from him each and every week during the football season, but we have him right here tonight as well to talk to us on day 1 of the NCAA college basketball tournament. Philly Rooster, how are you, sir?
Rick, doing well. How are you doing, my friend?
Everything is great here. I mean, the weather's perfect, and just had a great golf tournament here. Now we got some hoops, and we got baseball, and we got everything else. You off to a pretty good start? How are things for you?
Yeah, had a good day. Had a big bet on Duquesne. Got jammed on a couple totals, especially first half totals. But overall, good day today. BYU just knocked out about 20% of everybody's survivor pool, so that was a little interesting. The whole place went wild when they lost. There was so many chances to win that game. I just needed Duquesne to cover, and they ended up winning the game outright.
I know, at times, or not at times, but in the NFL and in college football, you'll pick a team with where it's not much risk, but the reward is plentiful. A couple years ago, you guys had LSU to win it in college football, and that worked for you. Do you do that with college basketball before the NCAA tournament, or instead you just play it game by game?
I do both. I'm not, as you know, I'm not the huge futures guy that Philly Godfather is, but in the tournament, I do find myself looking for value. I made a small bet on Kentucky. As you know, I can't let go of Gonzaga, even though they had a terrible year this year, but they were a big long shot going in. I threw a few shekels on them. I like Michigan State a little bit. I think they're going to give North Carolina pretty much all they can handle. They're very well coached. That's going to be a great game. I'll probably end up being on Michigan State there. Yeah, but that's about it. And then I'm all about the game by game, especially with this quick turnover. The sports books don't have time to create a real strong line on these, and you can get some value.
Well, speaking of which, quick turnover, Colorado wins very late last night. They got to get in on an airplane and now take on a Florida Gator basketball team, as we know, just played in 4 consecutive days. Now, granted, they've had 4 days to rest, but what about fatigue and playing that much basketball? How much does that factor into your play here?
Not a tremendous amount. These are young kids. It's not like veteran football players have been playing for 12 years and they got bad knees. These kids can play 3 games a day, every day for 4 months. It wouldn't bother them at all. They're in tremendous shape. I don't read into that a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I think Colorado might come out hot here. I made a bet first to 15, which is a new thing out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first team to get to 15 points, and I think Colorado has a little value in that particular item there. But The game itself is interesting. It opened 1.5, 160.5, almost no movement. Still 1.5, 159.5. But I'm with you. I think the Gators, the talent in the end is going to wear these guys down, not from fatigue, just because they don't have the players to cover Florida's big men. I know that the main guy's out, but he was only playing 20 minutes a game. So, yeah, I like the Gators here. I'm going to be laying the 1.5.
Yeah, hand locked in is out. Like a hand locked in, that just awful injury that did take place. All right, so you like Colorado first to 15, but you like Florida minus the 1.5.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to slow De Silva down, and I think he'll wear down by the end of the game, maybe be in some foul trouble. So not a huge play for me, but I do like Florida.
All right, a couple of other games I wanted to ask you about. Let's first go to TCU and Utah State. Your feelings there?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I love the 8 against 9s. If you look at history, 8 against 9s, the underdog is 59% against the spread since 2005. I've been zoned in on this now for about 4 years. Been very profitable. So I zoom in on these 8 versus 9 games. They usually have the wrong line on it. This game opened TCU 2.5. It went up to TCU minus 3.5. The total moved a little bit. Utah State hasn't played anybody. They have had no games versus 1 through 4 seeds. Now TCU was 2-5 versus 1 through 4 seed, but you're looking at a team that has some experience playing some tough teams where Utah State hasn't played anybody. TCU's never won 2 games in this tournament, but I like them in this spot. Even though they're a favorite, and I just told you I like the underdogs usually, but I like TCU minus 3.5.
All right, TCU minus 3.5. Interesting matchup there against Utah State. You just heard they have really not played anyone this year. The last game I want to ask you about is fascinating to me because forever Nebraska was kind of like they were there with like Northwestern as like the only 2 schools in the quote-unquote Power 5 that have never really done anything at all in the NCAA tournament. And A&M had to win to get in. Not a great basketball program as well. What are your thoughts here on the, on the Cornhuskers here as they get ready to take on Texas A&M?
Yeah, this is one where I love the 9 seed, higher seeded dog. Give me A&M here. They have a very tough defense, and the problem's going to be from Nebraska. They switch up their defensive scheme throughout the game. They go from zone to man-man to 2 front to 3 front. I mean, it's crazy to watch them play. I've watched a bunch of their games all year, and they are going to completely confuse this Nebraska team on defense. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game. I went under 146.5. And I also think the underdog covers and probably wins this game outright. I like A&M outright and the under.
A&M, and what are you getting there as far as points?
You get 1.5 or the money line plus 110.
Well, all right, 1.5 for Texas A&M and the under 146. All right, Philly Rooster, we know you're going to be busy, and for all our listeners out there, the best way to track everything that you are doing, whether it's tonight or throughout the weekend?
Just follow me on Twitter, @Philly Rooster. We'll be gearing up the football show again next year, but let's print some money during this tournament.
Let's do it. Philly Rooster, always a pleasure, sir. Best of luck to you.
Take care, Rick.
All right, there he goes. Good man. Likes Florida minus 1.5. How about this new rule? You ever heard of that one, JJ? First to 15? I mean, nuts.
Like that you can bet on?
Yeah. I mean,
they do that in football, too.
All right, this is an admittance that I do not bet. This is obviously new. The Philly Rooster told us that this is brand new, first to 15. So you're saying it's been going on in football as well?
Yeah, you can do like first to 10 or 20, whatever.
Okay, first to 15, he likes Colorado, but he does like Florida to win the game minus 1.5. There's been no movement on this. So if you play it, first of all, if you play in Florida, I say all the time, why play your team? You know, because if you win, that's good enough. Why would you pay it? But when it's 1.5, the chances of it falling on a 1 crazier things have happened. I don't bet, so I have no. It really doesn't matter to me either way. But according to the Philly Rooster, he is going to play Florida. He's also going to play TCU -3.5, and Texas A&M getting 1.5. He likes the under there, 146. All right, as we head to this break, let me update you on what is happening right now with the NCAA tournament. At last look, I either had 6 or 7 finals. Let's see. 7 finals, and we have one game that is going on. 2 minutes remain between Dayton and Nevada. My goodness, Dayton up right now 59-58. That's a 7 seed in Dayton. Nevada is a 10 seed, and that game is going on right now in the West region. So 2 minutes left in that matchup. When we come back, we'll give you an update there. Also, to tip off in 8 minutes, it is a 7 seed in Texas. Colorado State is a 10 seed. That is in the Midwest region. Texas is favored by 3.5 points in that game. We got much more to do. We're going to take you till 8 o'clock tonight on our show, and we are going to have Hacker come here at 8 o'clock, and he will take you up until 10 o'clock. Now Lawrence Stample's going to join me at 7. Talk some Florida State Pro Day with him. That is tomorrow. Also, one of his college football national championship teammates, Ronald Darby, is one of the newest members of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're going to ask him about Darby as well. That'll be at 7 o'clock. Much more to do. Again, if you'd like to join us, the best way for you to do that is on the text line. That number is 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
It's a weekend of baseball in Baton Rouge, Florida LSU. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon on 1010 AM.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Is your AC system showing signs of wear and tear? Get ahead of your AC system replacement before the summer with JTM Comfort Services. Nothing worse than coming home on a hot summer afternoon to find your AC had stopped working. Don't get caught when the heat becomes unbearable. JTM Comfort Services will replace your failing system fast. Take advantage of the pre-summer special of $1,300 back on a new system.
Your comfort is our name. Call my dad to keep you in the game.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to american-electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. american-electrical.com.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. If you're still in the hunt for a sports book to call home, bet the nonstop action of the madness with MyBookie. MyBookie is a one-stop shop for all your sports betting and casino needs, complete with a real-life Vegas experience right from the comfort of your phone. Take your viewing experience to the next level with real-time live betting that lets you stream and bet the games right from the MyBookie website. Sign up now and take advantage of a generous welcome bonus on your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Put in $200, get $300 ready to play instantly using promo code 1010XL. And the fun doesn't stop there. You'll get up-to-the-minute odds, props, and this week's expert predictions to help you decide who to put your money on. The best part about MyBookie, you can bet on anything, anytime, from anywhere. Use promo code 1010XL to secure your welcome bonus today, only with MyBookie.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 21st, 2019, Japanese baseball right fielder Ichiro Suzuki finishes his career with a record 4,367 base hits as Mariners beat the A's.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mokama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mokama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mokama.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com at 904-999-1508. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2024 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy? Totalmente. And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan at an amazing price with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely. Totalmente. Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, it is a final from Salt Lake City, Utah. Dayton 63-60. A 7 seed over a 10 seed. I don't even know who I had in that. I believe I had Nevada. How's your bracket right now, JJ?
This is how dumb it is to do this bracket stuff. Is I haven't watched a college basketball game in 7 years, probably 5 years. I'm 7-0 in my bracket right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That is outstanding. I am.
I couldn't name one player in the NCAA tournament, by the way.
I am 5-3. Duquesne beat BYU. I had BYU. I had Illinois, UNC, Michigan State. I had Nevada, who just lost to Dayton.
Oh, then I've lost one then. I have Nevada.
Okay. I had Arizona. I had Creighton. I had South Carolina, who lost to Oregon. So, yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games are final. We have 2 games getting set to tip off here in a little bit. 4 games will be on during hour number 2 of our program, and then 4 more games will tip off tonight. I do want to remind you that we are broadcasting live from Mr. Chubby's, so come on out and visit us here at Fleming Island. Tonight's show also brought to you by Patriot Roofing. All right, and obviously with what they are able to do is absolutely spectacular. Particularly if you need a new roof or you need a repair to your current roof, whether it's your home or your business. Just check them out online. Go to Patriot Roofing, or better yet, give my buddy Mark Tizzolo a call, 982-4052. Licensed and insured, discounts for military and senior citizens. So, again, go to Patriot Roofing for a new roof or to repair your current roof, whether it is your home or your business. All right, I just want to take a second out to say it's been a hard day for me. 1 year ago on this day, I did lose my mom. So this is the first year that I have been without her. I'm really surprised at how fast time has gone. But I will say the same thing I said 1 year ago at this time. At least she's no longer in pain. But I know it's been a tough day for my dad and with my brother and his wife, with my dad in Tampa and my sister back in Boston and my girlfriend here in town. It's been a rough day. But anyway, she is at peace now, and she is in heaven, and I will always love her. All right, coming up right now, Niall Lawrence Stample. Let's turn our attention to football. And what a time to do it, because we actually have about a 20-minute break until college basketball begins with the second wave. Actually, that'd be the third wave of games. 8 are final, 4 more to tip off in our second hour, and then 4 more games coming up late tonight. So we will do that on the other side. It's great to have you with us. If you want to join the conversation, as always, the best way to get on in is on our text line. That number is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Our world is full of balls and fields and games. It's a fantasy life.
Do you believe in unlikelihood?
Come join the fun.
It is a game.
1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Hard Rock Bet presents Legal in Florida.
You can bet the game on Hard Rock Bet. No more betting inside your head. Now Hard Rock Bet is legal in Florida. Now Hard Rock Bet is legal in Florida. Legal in Florida. It's safe, it's legal. We'll repeat that it is legal. Top rated sportsbook, and it's the only one that's legal.
Get a no-regret first bet up to $100 when you sign up now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and over and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Race into Gate for big offers. By big, we mean great deals on Red Bull and a chance to win tickets to the big race coming to Miami May 3rd through 5th. Buy 2 8.4-ounce cans of Red Bull, get one free. And if you're a MyGate Rewards member, you are automatically entered for a chance to win race tickets. Not a member? Download the Gate app and sign up today. See store for details. Go from good to Gate.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm just happy to have a roof over my head. You've heard that saying a bunch probably through the years, but what if it leaks? That's never good. Who do you call? How can you be sure they're any good? Who to trust? Well, remember this. Preferred Roofing guarantees to educate and inform their customers on such a big decision as replacing a roof. Let their consultants help you make an informed choice that you're sure to feel good about. Master Elite Certified Contractors, Preferred Roofing is who you need to call. Tell them Joe C. sent you.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Looking for the perfect Saturday plans? Head over to Players Grill, where Saturdays are all about pizza and pints. Dive into a delicious pizza paired with your choice of Miller Lite or Yuengling draft beer for just $12.99. Pizza, pints, and a great time. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We are broadcasting live from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Fleming Island. Great crowd on hand. Where else would you rather be? 8 games are final. We have a couple just getting set to get underway. As a matter of fact, the Texas matchup has just tipped off moments ago. And we'll have 3 other games that'll actually get underway this hour, and then 4 more games a little bit later on tonight. If you did register online at 1010XL.com, bring in your printed bracket. If any one of your teams is one out of the 8 that are final, and you can prove and show that you have a winner, you are going to get a free draft beer from Miller Lite. How does that sound out here at the Fleming Islands Mr. Chubby? As a matter of fact, Colorado State a big early, a 10 seed over a 7 seed. 8-2 Colorado State over Texas, opening minutes of that matchup. Let's talk some football. Let's bring in our buddy Niall Lawrence Stample, who, of course, won a national title with Florida State, played for the Cleveland Browns, big sponsor of our radio station as well, and he made the pilgrimage out here to Fleming out. You're familiar with these parts with you and your company, though.
Yeah, we do a lot of work out in Fleming Island as well as Orange Park. We do a ton out here. Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see you. I wasn't aware that DJ Uiagalelei weighed 255 pounds. Does he carry it well, or did this maybe catch you by surprise?
Yeah, no, it caught me by surprise because I think how well he does carry it. I think he's able to really move really well for that weight, and I think that helps his versatility and him being able to kind of move in the pocket as well as be able to be that versatile run quarterback that you want to see. So I think it is surprising, but I think he carries it phenomenally.
Your quarterback was big. I think he was an inch taller. Wasn't Jameis 6'5"?
Yeah, let's say about 6'5",
but he had to be in the 240s or something along those lines. It always looked like he had a little something. Actually, I've seen him with his shirt off, and some people had some fun with him during these workout videos getting ready for the NFL. But Jameis was a big guy, but Jameis wasn't exactly fleet of foot. Watching DJ Uiagalelei's career, both at Clemson and last year at Oregon State, getting it done on the ground is part of his game.
Yeah, it is. It's a big part of it, and it's. I think it's going to play a huge role, especially with being able to have Travis kind of lay this foundation down for the schematics of what we're looking at as an offense from Norvell. I think he comes in as a really good complement of being able to transition that in and be able to push some of those third downs and those fourth downs and being able to make those plays on his feet. On top of that, being able to keep the defense on his feet every single drive. That is a huge part of that running stability that you're able to see from DJ.
It's a totally different world from when you played a decade ago and won a national title because of the transfer portal. But when you lose Jordan Travis and Trey Benson and Jaheim Bell and Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, you lose all of that production. And now here comes a new guy with experience, 3 years of playing time, Clemson, Oregon State. But he takes over as the leader. What do you believe, how's that transition going to go? Will it maybe be easier than I assume because so many other guys are transfers as well coming in?
Yeah, and that's going to be a thing that you see so common. It's going to be multiple guys coming in and all being able to kind of work together and have their own story of, hey, how are we going to transition into this new program? So they should hopefully be able to put their arm around each other and help each other transition together, which is going to hopefully push the camaraderie of the team as a whole as we kind of go through the spring season going into the regular season.
Got to ask you about Patrick Payton. I made the comment a year ago after watching them here for a couple of days when they practiced at the University of North Florida. I said I think he's going to be a better pro than Jared Verse. A lot of our listeners are like, you're crazy, you're on drugs, whatever. I just look at his frame and I look at his length. And, yeah, he's a little bit more raw than perhaps Verse was when he got here 2 years ago. But, Niall, he's added 15 pounds, man. He's gone from 239 to 254. Your thoughts on Patrick Payton?
My thoughts are, when there's a saying with football players and alike, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Mm-hmm. But I like to say big-time players make big-time impacts in big-time programs. And when you have a player like Patrick Payton really understand that and watch Jared Verse be able to manipulate himself into such a huge role for Florida State, you're able to see players not necessarily become big-time players in terms of the actual production, but the impact that it makes. Before you watch these college games, you're able to see some playmakers, but you see impact players. And that's what these NFL scouts are looking at. So if Patrick Payton can understand that, gain his weight, do the thing that he needs to do, he's able to come in and say, oh, I can be that next Jared Verse. Yeah. I can be that next DJ. I can look at things and say, I need to impact the defense as an entirety instead of just as a position.
I think he's in a really good situation, Patrick Payton. I think he's got a chance to be a legitimate All-American this year at Florida State. I think he's still got a chance with that body, that frame. The more that he matures and the older he gets once he goes to the NFL, I mean, this guy could end up being a 265-pound defensive pass rush end.
Yes.
When it's all said and done.
Yes, he absolutely could. And as you progress through college football and you kind of find yourself and find what works for you, he's going to be able to lean into that. And I think he saw a lot of that last season, but I think this is the absolute tip of the iceberg for the upside to Patrick Payton.
Talking about the Noles, their pro day is tomorrow. Their spring practice actually got underway yesterday. I'll make that Tuesday, so they practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They'll have a small practice tomorrow, and then as well, could it be as many as 12 players going into the NFL draft? Florida State's pro day is coming up on Friday. Niall Lawrence Stample is joining us here on the program, and joining us as well out here at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Fleming Island. The one concern I really have about this football team, actually, before I get to the concern, we're all patiently waiting on Shea Tree's son. Marvin Jones, one of the greatest Seminoles of all time. The weight transfer of Marvin Jones Jr. looks pretty good as well, 250 to 257. Hasn't done a lot at Georgia in 2 years, but you talk about opportunity. I would think best case scenario for Nole fans would be this guy comes in, plays 1 year, and he is off to the NFL. That means he did his job.
Exactly, which is all we can really ask for at this point, is for a player like that to come in and give everything it has in order for us to help get our program to the next level and be able to hopefully cultivate a few relationships within the program to help bring those guys along too. So when you have those guys for maybe 1 year or 2 years, those guys are able to come in and really help make an impact to the program as an entirety and be able to help the next generation come along. So we're able to see see maybe 1 year, it's not the biggest impact that you can make in terms of production on the field, but it pays dividends going along the lines of the next year and the next year, the next year, for those players to be able to pass that information down along.
I asked you this 2 months ago when you joined me, but I want to ask it again to those out there that maybe missed your response. But my biggest concern with Florida State was after the opt-outs and getting blown away by Georgia, there was a feel sorry for me effect. The student body, their classmates, oh, I can't believe this happened, I can't believe this happened. How important is it for Mike Norvell to just eliminate that in the leadership of this football team? Because you know as well as anyone that if you carry that feel sorry factor with you, I think it can have a real negative effect to a football team. Where do you think they are now in mid-March, and what do you expect by the time the season rolls around in late August?
I think right now they're in a good headspace, especially speaking with some of my old coaches that are still there and some of the assistants that are still there. It seems like we're in a very good headspace going into the spring season. But what I like the most is that I think Coach Norvell does a good job of going to the next game, going to the next day, going to the next practice, and making sure that that is the biggest focal point of what he's pushing, and everyone around him seems to be suiting fit. So it's going to be important for us to be able to move on from that, but I think Norvell understands that, and I think everyone around him is buying into that. So as we kind of progress into the regular season, we should be able to see a consistency of what is next, who is next. We have a target on our back, and focusing on what happened last year will do nothing but hurt us in the long run.
We have one game going on right now in the NCAA college basketball tournament. Texas, 5 unanswered points. It is now Colorado State 8-7 over Texas with 11:50 to go in the first half. Coming up in 3 minutes, it'll be a 2 seed in Kentucky against the 14 seed in Oakland. That'll be at 7:10, and at 7:25, Gonzaga, McNeese, 7:35, Iowa State, South Dakota State. You fill out a bracket?
I have not. I'm not a huge college football guy, college basketball guy. Man, it's not the biggest suit for me, but
this year we're going to be able to fill out a bracket in college football.
Yeah,
with the playoff.
That'll be a really exciting time. Especially, it's going to get a lot of people that aren't into that into that sort of thing.
It's
so
going to be a blast.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Now, Lawrence Stample, our guest. All right, as many as 12 draftable players this year for Florida State. The draft is 5 weeks from tonight, which is just incredible. Tomorrow is Florida State's Pro Day. You gave us your thoughts on the Combine and how much of a grind that was, both physically, emotionally, mentally. What about the Pro Day? How different is that?
The Pro Day is different just because you are on your home turf. So you are with all your people, you're with all your training staff, with all especially your health staff that is there in order to make sure that you're limber, you're ready to go, and you have those people around you. And like we spoke about, you have someone like Florida State where you had so many players invited to the Combine. You still had that sort of camaraderie around you. But as you go to the Pro Day, you're able to debut with all of your Knoll brothers. You have players that are walk-ons that are trying to debut themselves, as well as your regular teammates. But what you're able to set the difference as, especially with the Combine and the Pro Day, is you're able to get comfortable. You're able to get set in. And these scouts do know that. So they're going to note that and kind of be able to play off of that. But if you're not able to be comfortable and show up and show out in this sort of environment, where can you do it?
Yeah.
So it becomes a gift and a curse. But at the same time, going out there and being able to give everything that you have around the people that really want you to do well will hopefully excel your production to the next level.
Yeah, and you may have an opportunity to maybe meet with a scout or a general manager or a head coach if they ask, but 3/4 of it was done earlier in the week. All of these players met with the media, the local Florida State media, and did the stand-up podium discussion. So unlike how taxing it can be when you go from team to team and interview to interview in Indianapolis at the Combine, for the most part, that's done when you work out tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. That's already done. So now you can only focus on – now all you have to do is focus on performing, which is the obviously the meat and potatoes. But at the same time, when you are meeting with some of these teams, you're meeting with some of these coaches that are at these with these NFL teams, you're able to give them more of a one-on-one feel and not necessarily feel like you're inundated with all these different questions. So you can give them a more personal vibe, and then being able to come over to the actual playing of it, you're able to say, okay, I'm going to differentiate myself this way, that way, that way, and you're able to really perform at your absolute highest caliber. So these scouts understand that dynamic.
Yeah.
So they are always assuming that you are going to give it your best shot. So it's really up to your time in order to facilitate that.
I think the most pressure tomorrow is on Keon Coleman.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Jared Verse had an unbelievable workout. Braden Fisk had an unbelievable workout. Trey Benson had an unbelievable workout. Others as well. Coleman didn't run well. Mm-hmm. And he's a 6'4" guy that is very athletic. You know, he dropped a few balls, things on those lines, but he's got to run better than that. Can you just any idea what he's dealing with right now at this moment and what he'll be dealing with tomorrow, knowing that, I mean, this could cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, depending on where he ends up getting slotted when he's selected?
Yeah. As a wide receiver, the 40 time is obviously essential to what you have going on with your stock. But at the same time, I think it is not the 40 time that's going to be the biggest issue. I really think it's going to be everything else. I think the 40 time will play a really big factor in it, but as long as he's able to do the little things right that he was able to do at the Combine, it will, I think, further fortify the fact that he is the ability guy that they think that he is. I think as long as he runs a good enough 40, everything else will kind of fall into play as long as he's able to continue to push that he is an explosive player. He has all the footwork in the world, and he's able to do the things that he's able to say he is able to do actually on film every single night that he plays.
Both of these wide receivers, better football is expected out of them in the future. I mean, Coleman was really good. I outlined a few things he did that were problematic. Johnny Wilson dropped a lot of balls. Johnny Wilson also was hurt at times. What are your thoughts on those two overall as we get closer to the draft?
I think they both have tremendous upside, and I think that they're both just a little bit different, but they bring so much to the table dynamically that it would be really hard for teams to pass up on them just because of what they actually bring. So you have Johnny Wilson, who's obviously his frame is very large, but he may not be polished in some of those regards, but I think you can't really build that. You can't make that. That's something that doesn't come in the draft very often, so that's going to play a huge role for his draft stock. And then you have the Keon Colemans of the world, where he is an absolute athletic freak. No matter what that 40 time is, he can get into open space. He can make people miss. He can make himself available in order to catch that ball. And that's going to play a lot more longevity than a 40 time in the NFL.
In the Midwest round, Colorado State has gone on a scoring drought now that has almost reached 7 minutes. They were up 8-2 over Texas. Right now it is 12-2, the Longhorns. So again, Colorado State, they've gone nearly 7 minutes, only 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half of that matchup. Niall Lawrence Stample, our guest, joining us here. We are live from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Fleming Island. Okay, final thought from you. Your old college teammate, you won a national title with him. You came in the same class as him. Ronald Darby. First of all, can you imagine still being in the NFL 11 years later like Ronald Darby?
Listen, I salute him, man. He is a tremendous player. He is a professional. I love to watch him. I've always have. He's someone that has really been able to find his game and stick with it.
Yeah.
And it's been tremendous to watch.
You know, Joyner's the one who moved all around, LaMarcus Joyner, and you know, Jalen came in as a guy that was going to get playing time, but Ronald Darby was a true field corner. Mm-hmm. He was on the island, and, you know, P.J. Williams on the other side. I love how he has expanded his craft. He's no longer just an outside cornerback. You can put him in the slot. He's a nickel guy. Your thoughts on what you think he's going to be able to do here with the Jaguars?
I think he'll be able to do a lot, especially being able to go from a few different teams as well as really a few different really good programs.
Yeah.
And being able to work with Doug. I think those things really play a huge factor in him being able to come here and utilize all of his skill sets. And he's always been a speed guy, and that's why he's been able to play on the island and do that very well. But he's also very dynamic. He's also very explosive out of his hips. He's able to break on the ball very explosively. And I think he's going to be able to show a lot of that and a lot of that stability that Jacksonville really needs at that position. So I think it was a great pickup by the Jags. I think it was a great value, and he's going to be able to come in here and really be something that we've needed for a while and be able to play the position very well.
Obviously, he's grown in the last decade, both maturity-wise and what have you. What type of kid was he when you met him when he was 18?
He was we were all kids, man. So we're all trying to grow up and try to figure this thing out. We all had our own specific crafts that we were trying to do, and everyone kind of progresses on their own stage and on their own level. And I think that being able to watch him from afar and kind of just because obviously I'm a defensive tackle, so we work together a little bit, but I've always been able to see how focused he was at his craft. He was always locked in when the things that he needed to do. So I'm so happy to see his progression. He's always been a great guy. Love him to death. He's always just been one of those people that you can always count on to be that guy, that personality, that good feeling person. So I'm really happy that he's here. I'm super excited to see him. I was able to see him when we did the national championship reunion, and it was awesome. The kids got to meet him and see him for the first time, and I'm looking forward to see him. I think it's going to be a great time here in Jacksonville.
Well, that must have had a bye week or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, he did. Yeah,
in order for him to be there, I wasn't aware of that. Outstanding. Yeah, I mean, right now it's wide open for Ronald Darby. He could be your starting corner opposite Tyson Campbell. He could be your starting nickel. He could be a dime guy.
And that's the versatility that he's been able to cultivate over the last 10 years. That he's been able to do this. It's been awesome.
Niall Lawrence Stample, tell us about NLS Cleaning, big sponsor of our radio station. Give us the very latest. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just continuing to push into this residential as well as our commercial footprint here in Jacksonville. So we're able to really take care of all of those things as well as your standard back patio. We'll come and get anything cleaned up. Your exterior windows, interior windows, but also your 6-story hotel buildings, your restaurants, anything that is here locally here in town, we can definitely take care of and make sure that it's cleaned up for you. And if it's dirty, we make it pretty. So yeah, we're here to get it done.
How do people get a hold of you?
So you can reach out to us at our phone number 904-708-8802 or take a look at our website nlscleaning.net. And yeah, we'll love to help out and facilitate anything you guys need.
Niall Lawrence Stample, always great to see you.
Absolutely, Rick.
Always a lot of fun. All right, you want to respond to anything you heard Niall say? Best way to get us, text line 641-1010. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We got much more to do. We're going till 8 o'clock here on Into the Night with Rick Ballou. And, of course, coming up at 8, Hacker Nation. We are live from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Fleming Island.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
Listen to this crowd. How about them Jags?
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
It's time for some Spring Fever March specials going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and how does this sound? Just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. Plus Arlington's Credit for Everyone program and 30-day exchange. Don't wait, save thousands and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Make your outdoor living perfect with Art of Natural Stone. Pavers, patios, gravel, pool decks, and more. Using all natural stone design, and they do the installation. Visit Art of Natural Stone on Route 1 near Bartram Springs or on Beach Boulevard.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Hicken here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Your Jags and the NFL. Jaguars Today. Get personal with your favorite NFL team.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony on 1010XL.
The best campfire stories happen when the sun goes down. And the best savings happen at General RV during the RV Show After Party Sale, March 20th through the 24th. RV shows are over, but you can still get a low RV show price, and that'll save you thousands. Plus, come in to see how you can camp on us this summer. Start your next campfire story with how much you saved, only at General RV in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckduckac.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Look, before starting Awaken 180, I first wanted to ensure I keep the weight off after dropping it. Well, Paige explained the process and I was in. Here's Paige now to share it with you.
And through this process of cooking your food, through eating out at restaurants, through ordering alcoholic beverages, which you can drink with Awaken 180 with our guidance, you're learning these tools, you're educating yourself, and it doesn't even seem like learning, but you'll learn so much about the foods that you're eating and the variety that you can enjoy, that you are arming yourself and ultimately your family with a whole host of information that will enable you to make the right choices, the best choices, the choices that taste good to you long term so that you can experience that long-term success easily.
Thanks, Paige. I chose Awaken 180 because I wanted a solution, a way not to only lose the weight, but the ability to maintain it for life. I found it with Awaken 180. So what's stopping you? Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Mr. Chubby's Wings, Fleming Island. The drought for Colorado State has come to an end. They make a three-pointer, but it's 18-11 Texas, who's unofficially now on a 16-3 run. As a matter of fact, I think that is official. Very low-scoring first half. 5 minutes to go. Texas, a 7 seed. Colorado State is obviously a 10 seed. Let me update you as well. The second game of this wave should be getting underway. Let's see. Actually, it is not underway yet. should tip off in just a couple of seconds. Supposed to tip off at 7:20. It's 7:25. Oh, as a matter of fact, they have. Kentucky up early, 2-0. So just barely underway. That is out in the South region. Coming up in, well, it's supposed to tip off right now as well. That is Gonzaga and McNeese. Gonzaga's a 2 seed, McNeese a 12 seed. 5th seed Gonzaga favored by 6.5 points. That'll tip off at 7:25, and then at 7:35 tonight, Iowa State, who I picked to win the national championship, they will be taking on South Dakota State, who is a 15 seed. 4 late-night games, number 2 Tennessee, 15-seeded St. Peter's, also number 6 Texas Tech, number 11 NC State, number 4 Kansas, number 13 Samford, and the final game on day 1 of the NCAA tournament is a 7 seed in Washington against a 10th seed in Drake. For those of you who have not heard, and I would imagine most of you have, Florida gets Colorado. Colorado a winner last night over Boise State. That is expected to tip off tomorrow, 4:30. All right. Florida favored by 1.5 points. Your total is 158.5 points. All right. Thank you to Niall Lawrence Stample for dropping by. It's a big day tomorrow in Tallahassee with their pro day. And I think it's an especially big day for Keon Coleman. Out of everyone over there, I mean, I don't know if a guy like Verse and Fisk and Benson, they don't have to do anything. They can leave it all with what they were able to do over at the Combine. They were that impressive. So there's really no need to do anything else. Trey Benson, this new way of ranking things, he scored a 9.78 out of a 10 on his RAS. Okay? He ranked 40th out of 1,745 running backs dating from 1987 to this year's Combine. I mean, he's completely off the chart. He ran a 4.39. He weighed 216 pounds. What he did was incredible. And, we've seen recently Coleman take a big dip. At one point, it looked like there were 2 first-rounders for Florida State, Jared Verse and Keon Coleman. Now I've seen some where Verse is falling regardless of how he tested, which I don't know why that is. Maybe we'll find that out in the next 5 weeks. Braden Fisk possibly sliding into the first round. I've seen others now where Keon Coleman, they believe he is going to go in the second round. Johnny Wilson as well. And then you have guys like Renardo Green, Trey Benson, Jerrion Jones, who are expected to be the next guys off the board. So, Florida State could have 7 guys selected in the first 3 rounds. Both linebackers could go. We'll see. Akeem Dent could go. Fabian Lovett could end up going. Jaheim Bell could end up going. So it's going to be a real intriguing day overall when it's said and done for Florida State. Florida had its pro day today. This is not a typical Florida year with a lot of NFL prospects. And according to Mark Long of the Associated Press, Trent Baalke was supposed to head over for this workout. He elected not to go once Ricky Pearsall announced that he was opting out of drills, and Pearsall tested well in Indianapolis. I would be surprised if we don't hear that a couple of these Florida State guys do end up opting out tomorrow. But I would also fully, absolutely expect Trent Baalke to make the trip over to Tallahassee when you got 12 draftable players. Real quick, JJ, did you see Yamamoto's first ever start after getting $325 million for the Los Angeles Dodgers? He threw 43 pitches in 1 inning. He allowed 5 runs in a 15-11 loss to the San Diego Padres.
I didn't see it, but that's not a great stat line. I saw he had like an ERA of 9 in spring training, which usually doesn't mean too much. But obviously there's a lot of work to do for this fella.
Yeah. I worded that incorrectly. None of us saw it. The game started at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I saw the last 3 or 4 innings, but I didn't wake up for the first one. I'm surprised they let him finish the first inning.
Yeah. And, I did see later in the afternoon, I saw Dave Roberts' press conference when he was asked about him, and he doesn't appear to be, as down as perhaps
early
others
days,
will be. Yeah. But still, $325 million. And that's lost into it, considering they paid Ohtani $700 million. It is.
But they have to wait for a while. They don't have to pay that for a minute.
They do not. Hey, let's grab a break. I'm hoping Rafael Esparza. I know he's dealing with some issues right now, which I hate. Some personal. Actually, let me just leave it at that with Rafael, who's always a fixture on the program, and hopefully we can get him on to get him to handicap some of our games that are coming up tonight as well as tomorrow, and that would include the Florida Gators. But let me go back and forth with him and figure all that out. In the meantime, we do invite you to come on by. Mr. Chubby's Wings, just having a fantastic time. There's room for you here in Fleming Island. And remember, if you did register online and bring your bracket in, it is good for a free Miller Lite draft. Just show them the bracket, show them what you did, the victory, and again, it's good for a Miller Lite draft. Quick update for you with the games that are going on right now. We have two of them that are happening. Texas now up 22-11, so they have doubled up Colorado State with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Kentucky-Oakland game right now, 4-3. Kentucky up over Oakland, just barely underway in that matchup. So we got much more to do. I'll take you up until 8 o'clock tonight here from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Fleming Island. Hacker Nation is going to be here at 8 o'clock. He will take you up until 10 right here during day one of the NCAA college basketball tournament.
In your car, 92.5 FM and 1010 AM.
Would you like to drive for a while?
In your house, at the beach, on your phone, at the gym, on vacation, out of town.
Well, everyone knows that.
Download our free 1010XL app for all smart devices.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
It's March basketball. That means a host of top teams will be competing for the NCAA title. When it comes to commercial painters, there's also some healthy competition out there. Jason Parker with Performance Painting. To help you know the right questions to ask any painter competing for your business this year, visit performancepaintingjacks.com. Or if you're ready for a friendly quote, give us a call and ask about our free pressure wash promotion for your next project. Performance Painting, quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
The Jacksonville Icemen continue their homestand Friday and Saturday as they battle the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in a key South Division matchup at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Game time 7 o'clock. Catch the exciting family fun action as the Icemen continue their push toward the Kelly Cup playoffs. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #FireWithin.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Learn a little more about your team's freshest faces.
I think we're a contender right now.
Free agency profiles are brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. Experience the universal difference. Follow the off-season with Tire Outlet and 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors, and with great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? How about scheduling a free consultation or just stop by the Pella showroom right there on Phillips Highway next to Tesla? Pella's professional consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. From simple projects to complex renovations, their team has the experience needed to make your project a success. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular strength training is key to maintaining muscle mass. Like muscle building, you need to stress the muscle to maintain strength. This means lifting enough weight and doing enough reps to the point where it's too hard to do one more. Yoga and Pilates are also lower impact muscle building workouts that help maintain lean body mass and improve flexibility. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Las Vegas is where we go. He's our good buddy Rafael Esparza. He is with mybookie.org. Rafael, always a pleasure. Thanks for a few moments.
Time. You should have the guy screaming Phoenix, not Vegas, because that's where I'm in. I'm Phoenix right now.
Yeah, you slid over there. Okay. In Phoenix. Any surprises, either on the eve of the tournament or early this morning before things did tip off? Money on a particular school or two?
The public lost on fighting BYU Mormons. I mean, that was a good win for the books. As of right now, the Mountain West looks pretty good, but they're getting crushed by Texas, Colorado State going down. So there's been some big prizes. A lot of teams have been covering double digits. We saw Arizona State. Too bad. Sorry, Long Beach State. Your coach is now officially fired. But, yeah, we've seen some good ones. North Carolina so far, I think, looks the dominant team. As what I've seen shortly in this one day of the NCAA tournament, they looked really, really good. And that's my pick to cut down the nets.
Who's that?
North Carolina.
Okay. North Carolina in my Final Four is really the only true blue blood. I mean, I have Iowa State, Houston, and Creighton, so that's a little outside the box for me. But because of what happened last year, do you think that had any influence at all on the way that people are wagering going into this year's tournament?
A little bit, yes. I mean, we've seen FAU, we've seen teams who've played Tuesday and Wednesday advance to the Sweet 16. A lot of the people like to bet what's happened in the past years. But again, it's been so wide open this year in college basketball. I've seen different betting trends coming in since we've opened up odds, and I think it's because of the parity, the transfer portal, and a lot of new faces on the bracket that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, the big game around here is tomorrow at 4:30 Jacksonville time. Florida gets Colorado now. Colorado winning last night late against Boise State. For the most part, I've seen it remain consistent at 1.5 points. What's the latest at the window?
Yeah, Florida money came in. I think we'll probably see that trend come in. I thought Florida was misseeded. I thought they should have been a little bit higher. I thought they were one of the better teams. In the SEC, they just had a bad month. They're going to be very interesting. I'm waiting to see what the betting public does to that number, 1.5. Could we see a 2 or could it drop? I think it goes up. I think the betting public bets Florida would not be shocked if it goes to 2.
All right, total at 158.5 points in that matchup as well between Florida and Colorado. Anything else really stick out as far as, 8 games in, couple of games going on, and 2 more will tip off this hour? Anything else that has surprised you so far as far as the NCAA tournament?
I thought more love would come in on Tennessee. A lot of rumors coming down that Barnes could be on his. If he doesn't have a good showing, there may be some grumbling out in Tennessee. The number has pretty much stayed flat. Total's only at 130.5 at the late game today. I thought the betting public would bet that game over. I would not be shocked if Tennessee whoops up on St. Peter's, and they may be the first team to put up 100 on a scoreboard because I heard these players are pretty upset.
All right, as we let you go, and I'm really interested in your answer. How much did people wager on these games in South Korea between the Dodgers and the Padres?
A lot of action was bet on that, and a lot of money came in from South Korea. I don't know if maybe it was Ohtani's friends, but that's another station, which I know that guy, Matthew Bauer, that's in investigation with him. I bet he's bet with me for many, 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 many years through the MGM, and it didn't shock me that he is the guy that was taking the action, Matthew Bauer. It did not shock me, so I was more shocked with his name, not Ohtani's name, but a lot of action came in. A lot of money on the over came in today, and that was, 15-11?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it ended up being a 15-11. Listen, I'm not trying to take it down a weird road or anything, but when they do a thorough investigation, you think they're out to try to look to see if Ohtani's ever done anything baseball-wise, or is he such a big star that they'll do the exact opposite and put it all in the interpreter and just move on to the next thing?
I see 2 scenarios. Put it all on the interpreter, or that Major League Baseball does the same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan takes a couple years of break. He goes plays baseball, then he magically comes back. Jordan's probably the biggest sports bettor that I've ever witnessed and heard of. It's going to be very interesting. Ohtani's just a global star, not just a Major League Baseball star. I'm very, very curious where this road turns to.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I'm not hoping for it. I'm not a Ohtani hater or disliker. I actually marvel over his talent, but it's going to be intriguing to see if they end up going down that road. All right, Raphael, leave us with the very latest over there at MyBookie, mybookie.org. What's going on?
Yeah, it's all about March Madness. I know there's NBA, NHL, college baseball, UFC this week, a nice female main event at UFC, but it's all about March Madness. And don't forget the NIT, the CIT, and don't forget betting on the NBA NHL. This is when you get soft numbers because the odds makers are just focused on March Madness. They may forget to move a number on NBA, NHL, soccer that's going on this week. And this is the best times to maybe hit the books on an NBA play because they're too busy watching March Madness.
Rafael Esparza with MyBookie and mybookie.org. Thank you very much, Rafael. Have a good one.
Take it easy. Have a fantastic weekend, guys.
There he goes. You know, I got to there's 2 things I missed out on when I went to Chicago. I got there post Harry Carey. I got there post Michael Jordan. And I told you the biggest surprise I had in Chicago, I thought Jordan would be far and away star number 1. Not Walter Payton, not Bobby Hull, not Ernie Banks, not Sammy Sosa, not Kerry Wood or Mark Pryor or Frank Thomas. I thought absolutely it would be Michael Jordan. It wasn't, okay? It was Mike Ditka. And I still, to this day, have a little bit of a problem understanding that. But it's a football town. And Ditka remains the king. But the other was in the industry that obviously I work at, you hear so many things, especially off the air. And everyone in Chicago, there was no doubt about the gambling of Michael Jordan. And the very unfortunate story where, his father was murdered, in linking those two together. And I've always tried to be very careful about a story like that because I don't have knowledge as to what actually did take place. And I'll even use the word journalist 25 years ago. There were still some journalists around back then that were absolutely convinced that that was the reason why it did end up happening. And, Jordan just walked away. They just turned their heads. And they basically said, it is what it is. He's Michael Jordan. Get away from a couple of years, and then you can end up, coming back as he did. But, to this day, you talk about a story that was absolutely buried by just about everyone. And even though the media, and there are contrarians out there that did whatever they could to try to, solve what actually did happen. Michael Jordan, that's an addiction too. When you take it to that significance, I don't know anything about Michael Jordan, but I've heard it all that, every golf shot, the guy plays golf like daily, every golf shot is a wager. So if you have that amount of money, and what do you make, like $1 billion again or something crazy like that, several $100 million? I saw the list of the most money ever made by athletes, and, it's Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, far and away number one, number two. And then after that, it's like soccer stars. And in tennis, you got to go quite a ways until you bring up a basketball, hockey, football, or baseball player. Maybe that'll change in the future with the $700 million deal that Ohtani actually did sign. All right, I got about 3 minutes here before we bring in Hacker Nation. Again, if you're joining us for the first time on Into the Night here with Rick Ballou, we are broadcasting live from Mr. Chubby's Wings out in Fleming Island, and Hacker's going to continue over the next couple of hours. Here's what's going on. Earlier today, Michigan State a winner 69-51 over Mississippi State. It was Dayton 63-60 over Nevada. Those two games were in the West region. Okay? Southwest, Oregon over South Carolina. So, you look at the SEC. It's been a rough day. Mississippi State was sent home. South Carolina was sent home by Oregon. The biggest upset of the day was an 11 seed over a 6 seed. That was Duquesne knocking off BYU. Duquesne won their first NCAA tournament match in 55 years. I shouldn't call it a match. It's a game. First in 55 years when they knocked off BYU. Illinois a winner, 85-69 over Morehead State. Creighton a winner, 77-60 over Akron, Arizona, 85-65 over Long Beach State. And a top seed, North Carolina, a winner, 90-62 over Wagner. Okay, the next wave of games. We have 4 of them going on. Halftime. Man, Colorado State, this is bizarre. Colorado State was up 8-2 over Texas, and like the first 2 minutes of the game, Texas had to call a timeout. It's now 27-11. So Colorado State, and I don't know the exact measurables here, but I want to say Colorado State scored 1 basket in like the final 17 and a half to 18 minutes of the first half. Texas up 27-11, halftime break there. Kentucky struggling early on with Oakland. All right, Oakland has just gone ahead 19-17, 8:31 to go in the first half there. Iowa State giving it all to South Dakota State, 15:50 to go in the first half, and the Cyclones up 15-3 over South Dakota State, and just barely underway. Gonzaga up 3-2 over McNeese, 1 minute into that matchup out in the Midwest region. As I said, Hacker Nation's going to be here with you tonight up until 10 o'clock, and there are going to be 4 late-night games that are going to tip. Beginning at 9:20, it'll be a 2 seed in Tennessee against a 15 seed St. Peter's. Tennessee favored by 22.5 there. At 9:40 tonight, a 6 seed Texas Tech against an 11 seed North Carolina State. The Red Raiders are favored by 4.5. That is in the South region. Midwest region, Kansas, a 4 seed against a 13 seed Samford. only a 7.5-point favorite is Kansas. Remember, their leading scorer is out for the tournament. That'll tip tonight at 9:55 in the Midwest region. And your last game is in the Eastern region. All right, Washington State, a 7 seed against Drake, a 10 seed. That is at 10:05. And Washington State is an underdog in this matchup. The 10 seed is a favorite by 1.5 points. That is Drake over Washington State. Hacker Nation getting set to join us right now, and he is going to take you through the next couple of hours. And he is here, and he is ready to go. He is Ryan the Hacker Green. How'd you do so far today in your bracket?
6-2, was an eyelash away from 7-1, but Nevada decided to stop scoring in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I needed Nevada as well. I 5-3 day. I began 4-1, but I've been upside down on a couple of these. Duquesne got me early. I had Nevada like you. I also had South Carolina, who lost a little bit earlier today. How about the game we're watching right now? I mean, just nuts to see what has happened here in this Texas matchup against Colorado State. I mean, Colorado State scores 8 early points. They're up 8-2 over Texas. And according to my math, they went either 18 minutes or 17 and a half minutes and made 1 basket.
Yeah, they saw too much of Virginia in Dayton, right? They beat Virginia, and Virginia was an awful offense. Maybe it rubbed off on Colorado State. And I got to tell you, Rick, what a terrible day so far for the SEC, right? South Carolina out, Mississippi State out, Kentucky right now, very early, losing to Oakland 23-17. It is not a good day for the SEC, which is a shame because the conference as a whole was so good in the regular season. But, man, they are struggling out of the gate.
All right, by the time I get with you tomorrow, that Florida-Colorado game will have gone final. You watched some of it or all of it last night against Boise State. Do you like the draw?
I do. Colorado's not very deep. I think they only play 6 or 7 guys. They got some size, though, in the front court. Or, I'm sorry, in the back court. So Pullen and Walter Clayton are going to have to deal with some size from Colorado. I think Florida wins the game. I think they're more talented than Colorado. They'll find a way to win. But in my bracket, I do have them losing to Marquette. Look, if you're going to play a 2 seed in round 2, Marquette is probably the 2 seed to play because they have injuries as well. So from that standpoint, I think Florida got a good draw, but it's a 7 versus a 2. It would still be a pretty big upset if Florida were to knock off Marquette on Sunday.
All right, what do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously a ton on the NCAA tournament out here at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. We'll keep you updated on that. We're also going to do some National Football League. Justin Mello of the Draft Network. We'll talk Jags. We'll talk AFC South. Also Mike Huguenin, as spring football is going on all over the country in college football. We'll talk Florida, Florida State, Miami, and more with Mike Huguenin coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
Sounds good. Florida's Pro Day today. Florida State's Pro Day tomorrow. That's going to do it for Into the Night. Hacker, have a lot of fun on your show.
Thanks, Rick.
Great atmosphere out here at Mr. Chubby's in Fleming Island. Do want to thank everyone for making us a part of that. And again, it's going to continue for the next couple of hours. Do want to thank now Lawrence Stample. Want to thank the Philly Rooster. I do want to thank Rafael Esparza. Thank you to Richie out here for engineering and JJ back in the studio, the producer, as always. My name's Rick Ballou. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. You can always get me on Twitter at Ballou1010XL. Folks, enjoy all the games. I'll talk with you tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jaguars.